Broadcasting live.
Listen live online 24/7.
24/7. Around the world.
Right here. Right now.
It's 300 Radio.
And you know this, man.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Scott Free Morning Show. I am your host himself, L. Scott. You see the name on the screen. Let me get this down a little bit. I'm up a little high. I know I've been gone for about a week. I've had family business to attend, and I brought a co-host in with me. And I'm not going to call you my co-host. I'll call you are my support team. I have my daughter working for the summer this week, so we're going to get this popping. Y'all can call. What do you want to be called? Let me ask you that.
I'm not sure. Something fun.
What does that? I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Something fun, something cute. Give me something cute.
Okay, well, we're going to work on the cute and fun part. On today's episode, first and foremost, let's get a little bit of homework out of the way. I didn't shoot it all last week. I was in Texas for a bit of that time, under the weather for a little bit under that time, and now we're just going to shoot. We're going to shoot today, and we're going to probably try to cover as many topics as we can cover because we got to catch up. But before we get started, I like to do the fair use thing, get it out of the way. This is her first time watching a live episode, guys. My daughter's in here. I'm gonna call you Desi Pooh for today. We're just gonna go Desi Pooh for today. That's if I say your name, okay? If I say your government, people gonna know who you are. So we don't want to do that.
Okay.
All right. So today's episode, before we get started, we're gonna probably run a couple of videos, things like that. So I'd like to get the fair use out of the way. YouTube is very, very much hell on me when it comes to that. So I want to get that out the way real quick, and then we're gonna come right back. So hold on a second.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, Desi Pooh, what's first up on the docket? I got a couple of things I want to cover. I'm probably going to cover things you have never even heard about. But until then, tell me something. What do you got for me? What's the first thing up?
Well, I have a few things. It can range from something that might take a while to talk about or something quick.
Give me something that interests you the most. Something that pops out in your head first. Let's start there. What you got?
Well, this is something I just now saw.
Okay.
Do you know who Ari Fletcher is?
I know who Ari Fletcher. She's a singer, right?
Ari Fletcher, the only thing I know about Ari Fletcher is that she is like a social media personality.
Ari Fletcher. Keep going. I'm listening.
She's a social media personality. The only thing I really know about her is she had like this failed influencer TV show where they just like looked at a bunch of like influencer, not celebrities, influencers. I like to make the distinction because I think there's a very big distinction between a celebrity and an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
But Ari Fletcher.
This chick here. She's on the screen now, I think it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ari Fletcher basically one day said that you can dress classy and be a classy woman without looking like you're 50 plus years old, right?
Okay.
And this ruffled a couple of feathers. I personally don't know why, because she's right.
Okay.
But
What feathers did she ruffle?
apparently it was from people who are like, oh, to be classy, dress classy, it's a lifestyle. And I guess I just wanted to get your opinion on what makes a classy woman and classy is supposedly a lifestyle, or
All right.
modestly dressed, or what?
I'll say this first and foremost when it comes to class. Class is definitely going to be in part how you look and how you carry yourself. But class is also an attitude. Who was she talking about? Let me ask you that first for full context. Who was she? Why did she feel the need to make this statement?
I don't think she was attaching it to anything. I think it could have been like a subtweet where she was like calling out someone without calling out someone, but I think it was just a general statement of you can look classy without looking good.
Okay, so basically what she was saying, if I'm getting it correctly, you correct me if I'm wrong. Hold on one second. Matter of fact, too many tabs open. Hold on one second, guys. Get rid of that one because that one's holding up the screen. I can tell how I'm moving. That's going to mess up the feed. But we'll pull it down. So most people think that classy has to do with the style or class really is personified in your attitude. I've seen women with a lot of money that dress really, really nice and they still look trashy because really it's in your attitude. I said this one time on an episode that like women act like being feminine is a bad thing. Like you can be too feminine. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I don't feel that way. When it comes to a woman, the more feminine you are, the more classier you're going to be. So with her to make that statement, I just saw her picture on the screen. She looks like a really made up young lady. Am I right? Does she wear a lot of makeup? Probably BBL somewhere or something like that.
I don't know about all that.
Well, I don't know, but generally with people like that, with that type of mindset, it lets me know she don't have a level of class because she don't even understand what class is. But that's just...
Well, to be honest, can I give my opinion?
Yeah, go ahead. You have. Yeah, give me your opinion.
To be honest, I think it could be like wrong messenger maybe, but I do think that, like you said, I think a lot of women, they will dress a certain way and say, oh, this is classy. What you're wearing isn't classy enough or something like that.
Right.
But they themselves, it's like pot calling the kettle black. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
It was kind of like how, not to segue, but it was kind of like how
Go ahead.
you know the Miss Shirley thing with the
The
child,
little girl? Yeah.
the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who are criticizing her mother for being, let's say, too ratchet, too ghetto, right?
The mama or the mama letting the child be too ratchet?
The mother of Miss Shirley, the
Okay.
one that's like parading her around.
Okay. Oh, and for full context, anybody listening, Miss Shirley is right now. We have I like to tell people it's actually a good thing. Black America right now is starting to resurge again. We're starting to love on each other again, and one of the ways I'm noticing that's happening is through a lot of line dancing. And I'll contribute a lot of it to Beyonce. Beyonce, when she went back country, it pulled a lot of us back into our roots. Remember, black people started country music as well. And when we got back into that line dancing became very, very, very important. And for full context, this little girl has gone viral. If you haven't seen her, what do you call it? Miss Shirley is her name?
Yeah.
Miss Shirley has gone viral.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah, she's gone viral due to her line dancing. The problem is there is a divide in the culture right now that saying some people are saying that she's dancing a little too provocative, and then some people are saying it's just a child. So that's just for full context. But carry on, keep going.
Well, in me personally, on the thing, I think that a lot of people are criticizing the way she danced. The one thing that I criticize about the Miss Shirley thing is I think she's being too exposed. And
What
this
is that?
is how
What do you mean by that?
this is how I feel about majority of like child stars in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think that putting children in the spotlight is too much, especially the younger you get. How old is she? Like what? 3, 4,
I don't
5?
think she's that old at all. Yeah, she's very young.
So
4. I think they said she was 4.
So I disagree with having children in such a broad, bright spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's what people are criticizing. I think people are fine with her being in the spotlight, but they're criticizing the way she's dancing. And really, I don't care because I don't think it's that bad.
No, I don't. I've seen times, and I'll say this: I've seen times where I've seen kids that are a little too scantily clad when it comes to how they're moving. But this is one time I don't think that she was out of pocket at all, in my opinion.
But it's connected back to the Ari Fletcher thing. I see the women that are criticizing her mom specifically for how she carries herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's women who carry themselves similarly, right?
Yeah, women do carry themselves away, but what it is, all right, you got to understand, though. You got to understand. See, most of the people who are going to complain about how she looks, and I have no problem with the criticism, to be honest with you. I know we talked about it earlier, but the reason why I don't have an issue with it is anytime that we're trying to hold ourselves to a higher standard, I would rather us go overboard with trying to protect than it is to being a little loose. So in this situation, even though I don't think what the little girl did was out of pocket, I don't have a problems with, because I don't have a problem with women having an issue with it, because this is the reason why. I say too many times when stuff is going on, especially on the internet, things like this, because we see the manosphere versus feminists all the time. And when you see this type of conversation, the one thing I always say is that I've seen some men who are just egregiously out of pocket when it comes to this manosphere. And I've seen some rabid feminists that gets way out of pocket when it comes to femininity. And I think that for me, when I see a male acting out of pocket and he's doing it in the guise that he's trying to big up black men or men in general, no, I don't support that. I don't support toxicity in our community. And I think with women, a lot of times, you guys, because y'all girls, y'all will support each other even when it's at a detriment. So, but anytime an older person is trying to pull a young one's coat, I'm cool with it. I don't have no problem with it, because we need that type of loving from the community. Give you an example when it happens. You know the football player Travis Hunter? Did you hear about him?
No.
He was the boy who played with Deion Sanders, and he had the little Mexican girl he was with, and the internet basically was telling him, the internet was trying to get him to understand, yo, this girl's with you for your money because you're ready to make a lot of money. You didn't hear about this at all.
No,
Oh God, we run in two different circles. I see that already.
Well, the only sports stuff that I hear is stuff that pertains to something else. Like, for example, the Angel Reese thing.
Right.
That's a race-based conversation, so I'll hear about it. But
But-
if it's pure sports, I'm not gonna.
Well, for one, I'll come back to it. I'll say this about it. Travis Hunter really wasn't the part I thought you would have caught. Wouldn't have been about him on the field. It would have been more about what he did off the field. What it is, and quick story about it is that he basically jumped into the DM. He's a star player to play for Colorado, the football team. He's a football, but coming in, he was a star coming into college. And he jumped in this young girl's DM, little Mexican girl, and she left him on red for months. And then her brother told her who he was. She answered. Fast forward to today, that's what's going on.
Any advice to anybody watching who may be on the come up? Don't jump in anybody's DMs. Whether you're a man or woman, don't do that. Don't do that.
Why do you say don't
Don't
jump
go on
into-
dating apps.
Why?
Don't go jump in anybody's DMs.
Okay, but let me say, in dating apps and DMs, things like this, really, to be honest with you, that's what we're relegated down to. Because if you think about it, no one's meeting in person anymore.
I think there's a different standard for you if you have a little bit of fame underneath your pocket. I feel like if you don't meet them in person,
Right.
then something's going to happen to you.
What do you mean something's going to happen to you?
Because there's some very predatory people. You know what I mean? People who are going to prey on you, especially
Okay.
the younger that you are, the more naive you are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what people's intentions are. So I just say, if you're going to date and you have fame,
Mm-hmm.
meet people in person.
All right, I'm agreeing with you. It's probably harder. All right, first and
And
foremost.
date people on your level as well.
Well, first and foremost, it's going to be hard to date as an entertainer, period. It doesn't matter whether it is in person or online, because what's going to be is once you become a known person to people, and I'll give you a classic example. As small time as I am, just a beautiful face I have on the screen, people like it, just being honest. But quick example, I actually had somebody who's recognized me already. Okay. And as she's talking to me, she's telling me things like she knows me. And I'm be honest with you, kind of threw me for a minute. It's like, why you think you know me like that? Just because you've seen me talk for an hour a day. So when I saw that, I know how entertainers feel. And I agree with you. You have to be leery because you don't know who has already vetted you before you even meet them. But see, you're going to run into that in person, online, the whole nine, because people's intentions are not pure, especially when they know you got some level of wealth.
I mean, I agree that you have to be wary regardless, but I just think that it minimizes the damage when you meet people in person and also when you date on your level. If you are a big-time A-list celebrity, date other big-time A-list celebrities.
Well, see, I disagree. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why Hollywood dies and all their relationships die is because when you're an A-list celebrity and you take the mindset of, I'm only going to date someone at that level, what you're going to find out is that neither one of y'all have time to be with each other. So what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself in New York, he's going to find himself in Los Angeles, and then y'all going to find yourself divorced. So I genuinely like, if you're going to have one sole person who's out there making a large sum of money, then the other person should be the counterbalance to that. That's just my personal opinion. If you want your relationship to survive, especially if kids are involved. But it's funny that you brought up Angel Reese, because I did want to touch base on that real quick. And I wanted to touch base on that because it's one of my things I wanted to discuss, and then we'll get back into your topics after we run a commercial, right? Or a video. I wanted to bring up a guy named Robert Griffin III. You probably have never heard of him because you say you don't watch sports. But
The third.
yes, Robert Griffin III was.
He sounds like he should be royalty, not on the court.
Well, he thinks he's royalty, but I'm ready to dig into this brother's ass real quick. So bear with me, people. And let me preface it, let everyone know. Again, if you're new to the channel, it's the first time hearing this, first of all, hit the subscribe button. Second of all, I'm an equal opportunity giver to anyone who comes after our culture. And I say our culture, I'm talking about Black American culture. Even if you're a black person yourself, if you find yourself on the odds with us, I will attack you. Does that make sense?
Yes. It
Okay.
does.
So Robert Griffin III is a black guy who in America who played football in the NFL. He's no longer in the league, but he has somewhat I guess, successful podcast, and he does it with his white wife. He's a black man. All right. So I just want to give you full context. All right. So this guy, Robert Griffin III, proceeds to say that Angel Reese is a problem. Basically made the statement that Angel Reese has a hatred for Caitlin Clark, and it goes beyond the court. She just has a full disdain for him. And then other brothers even came out in defense for Angel. I did catch one. I can't think of the guy's name. It was another football player. And he basically, I agree with his sentiment when he said about Robert Griffin III. Brother, you are fueling the fire when it comes to this situation. You know, like we know, that this is a racial undertone to this whole thing. When Angel went to go take those free throws after that was it a technical foul or a flagrant foul? I can't remember. But after that foul happened that everyone's discussing, she went to the free throw line. And when she got there, that crowd proceeded to boo her, not as a sports fan. You could feel the racial.
Talk about the monkey noise.
Yeah, the monkey noises, though, everything. This to me lets me know that we're living in a very much racially divided nation. And for a brother like RG3, and let me tie it in so I can go ahead and shut it down when it comes to this brother. I don't even want to call him by name because TikTok keeps blocking all my videos. They took the sound away from my video again the other day. Anyway.
That's all that cussing.
I do a
Stop
lot of
doing
cussing.
that.
So I'm going to stop cussing so much. So I'm going to say, so what I will say is to RG3, brother, and I'm going to be serious when I say this. You are a black man here in America. I know that you probably wasn't raised with a level of wealth and means, but for some reason you find yourself on the opposite side of the masses of black people. Black American is 43 to 48 million strong. And I'm going to tell you the post that's going to be is that we support Angel Reese. I don't care that Angel Reese said out her own mouth that she was the villain when it comes to sports. I heard Charles Barkley tell people he's not somebody's role model, but no one ever looked at him as being somebody that's an asshole. Yo, I do. I do look at Charles. Black America looks at him being an asshole, but white folks never had a problem with Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley told you out of his mouth that he was nobody's role model. And so when I think about Angel Reese, I'm sorry, I just sit back and I think that they're mistreating this girl. And when you make statements like that as a black man, all it's going to do is fuel more white people to say it, and then they're going to use you as a proxy. Well, RG3 said it, so it's not a race thing. It is a race thing, and everybody knows it. But anyways, I digress. I don't want to keep bringing that up. Anything else you got before we go to our first video break? You got something on the table? We just getting warmed up because that's what the guy, I'm rusty as hell right now. Go ahead.
If I were to talk about something, it would be something completely different than what we're talking about.
All right, let's go to our very first. We're going to play one song. We're going to play one song. We're going to come right back. And then once we get from this song, we're going to let Miss Desi Pooh bring up her next talking point, okay? First and foremost, before I go to commercial break, let's talk about the way I look, okay?
All right.
I think I'm loving this look right now. Right now. Do you like it?
It's fine.
I know.
I
it's
see you
beautiful.
every day. So.
I know, it's beautiful. Anyways, first commercial break. We'll be right back in a moment, guys. Let's start out. I want to play a little bit of Tank.
Okay.
So let's go with Slow. See you guys in a minute.
school.
And we've got new school.
Always plays the new music first right here.
It's 300 Radio.
Anyways, my mic was off and yours is off. All right, so we're back, guys. Sorry about that. The microphones was off. Who we got in the queue right now? We have 1,600 people in the queue. We lost a few people, but she's gonna fluctuate the whole time. I see it a whole bunch of times. But anyways, while we have it going, Ms. Desipu, what do you have next on the list? I just can't. First of all, you say that. Let me just say something. I don't like to big up myself. I don't.
Oh my god!
But I want to say something to you today.
Is this all your podcast is?
No, I never talk about myself, but I mean, it just, you see it. I see it. Anyways, go give me what you got next. What's up next?
The biggest topic I think that's been happening in Black society on social media is the influx of what it feels like of Black men doing something incorrectly, like doing something wrong and getting in trouble with them. Right.
From R. Kelly to
not
Neo,
even
to Chris Brown.
Just like what's happening now. Like you have
DDG.
You have Tory Lanez, Chris Brown getting arrested.
Right.
The Diddy trial going on right now.
Right.
You have multiple instances, it feels like, and I guess I just want to. I have like little.
Give me what you got. Talk to me. This is a conversation. There we go. Go ahead. Talk to me.
So with the DDG and Halle thing specifically, because that's the first thing that I have.
Well, first and foremost, before you tell me that, let's see if we're on the same page or on opposite ends.
We're probably going to be on opposite ends.
Okay, so
like
first and
usual.
foremost, first and foremost, do you believe Halle or don't you believe her? First and foremost, let's just ask that out the gate. Is DDG a womanizer, a beater? Whatever, a predator, whatever they call it, whatever is he, in your opinion?
I don't know the ins and outs of the case specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. But I do think, at best, DDG is immature.
Okay.
Is very immature. He could be all the things that Halle says he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be shocked. But I do think DDG is very immature just by the way that he handles certain situations. I think his family members are incredibly immature as well.
Okay.
I think, well, okay.
Okay. Let me say something. Pause. Slow down a second. So let me say this to you. Let me ask you a question. So it's his family. So it's his mother, sister, brother. Who is talking? Who's doing the talking?
Well, I'm thinking about his sister specifically.
Okay. So his sister. Now, what is his sister saying? And what is your problem with what she's saying?
Well, let me just preface this by saying,
I'm listening.
If I was in legal trouble, right, and I was in like really big legal trouble to the point where I have a restraining order, right?
Okay.
And I'm probably going to go to court at some point soon, right?
Okay.
Would you hop on live and trash the person who is putting me in court? And also, would you be on TikTok retweeting videos and all this stuff like that? Would you be doing all of this stuff? Or would you think, hey, maybe I should keep low and keep quiet until this is all over with?
All right. So
and spew all of my opinions when it's all said and done.
Okay, so my question to you is going to be is this. She's not part of the case, correct?
She's not part of the case. Okay. However, she's affiliated with someone who is.
Okay, so she's not part of the... Okay, well, I'm just trying to establish something. You don't even know where I'm going. You already
I'm just
trying to get in front of me.
I'm
okay.
answering questions.
All right, so she's not part of the case. Mm-hmm. Is the words that she's saying harming DDG in any way?
Well, I don't know if they are.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they weren't...
Right.
There's still a possibility that they could. So would you want to take that chance just to be petty online?
Okay, true. But I think where your issue is the fact of, and I'm going to be honest, this is just my personal conjecture, that I think part of why you feel this way is because, for one, you believe Halle, how you say the girl name? Halle to be innocent of these things, and this girl is basically out of pocket because she's based online trashing the girl out at the same time.
Even if Holly was lying completely, which I don't think she is.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say that.
Okay.
Even if she was lying, I
Mm-hmm.
still think it would be stupid.
What? But okay. So all right. So let me get my point because this story to me is a slow one to me. But I'm gonna give you my conjecture.
Well, this is one of many.
Okay. So this is my conclusion. I'm gonna make it quick about him. So when it comes to this young man, I don't have a problem with his sister saying anything. To be honest with you, if she's known for talking anyway, like how do we even know he has a sister? That means that people probably are already privy of her. So since we already know of this girl and she's already known for probably talking out loud anyway, I would probably look at it crazy or sideways if she wasn't saying anything. Because I'll speak as myself. I have family that I love and I care a lot about. I would never say anything out loud that would harm them in any way. But I will fully stand on and support someone that I feel has been aggrieved. I do it every day on this podcast.
I think about Diddy's kids. Diddy's kids are not going out of their way to be like, oh, Diddy's this, and that, right?
Yes, but his sons did.
Really?
Yes, his son, when he first got arrested, they had a lot to say when they was talking, and a lot of people jumped on them. Oh, y'all shut up. Y'all know what you're talking about. Your dad is nasty. I remember this. But even in that one, I think that's what family does. Family, you know what does it? That's natural. You know what isn't natural? To me, what is not natural is what I heard the other day. So, who was a black guy? Did a black guy get killed recently? And I cannot remember. But anyways, it was somebody, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they was telling him did somebody black get killed by the police or something like that?
Somebody's son got
I know
shot.
what it was. I know exactly what it was. Sorry about that, guys. It's the Rodney Hinton or whatever his name.
Yeah.
I think it is situation, right? So I'm gonna tell you what is not natural. What is not natural, and I heard this multiple times on different podcasts. I've heard people call up and say things like, people like the dad is wrong because he should have let due process happen. And I even heard some people go as far as say this: let due process happen, go all the way through the court system, and at the end get a payout. That's what you should do. And I'm sorry, I'm a parent. I'm not thinking about a payout. If somebody hurt my child, I want somebody to feel pain is what I want. And so when the dad did what he did, I understand it. Am I saying it's right or wrong? It's not me to judge. My issue is with people who basically want to blame the victim and how the victim responds. See, me, I won't do that. So, and I think that happens a lot of the time. Do you not agree?
Well, yeah.
So that's not natural.
Especially when people take it in their own hands when their child is murdered.
So to me, what's not natural is to have people say things like, you should let this happen and then you should go get payouts. That's not natural. What is natural is people get in their emotions when their family hurt. I lost my father. When my father passed, and I had issues with my father. And when I mean issues, I'm talking we had personal issues together. And that's another subject for another day. But even though when he passed, I felt cheated. I actually was angry with God, all this other stuff, because it felt like this man is way too young to have to suffer this fate. And so you find yourself being very, very angry with things like that. But I was very emotional when it comes to that. So I'm not thinking clearly. So imagine I have a family member that I love. And now, I was not present. So I don't know if he did it or not. But just say she believes he didn't do it. She's going to probably stand on business. That's why I don't have an issue with it.
But what if he did?
Then if he did, and she finds out, then I would expect her to publicly be just as... Well, that's human. Look, I always say all the time on here, there's the right thing to do, and then there's what we always do. Yeah. And what we always do is we will jump. Class example, don't expect the everyday person to do it if you can't even get big businesses to do it. How many times have you seen the media run a story about somebody that's totally false? We find out it's false, but they don't run the retraction. I want you to say the retraction as loudly as you said the story, and they never do that.
I completely agree.
But anyways, I digress. What's next up on the list?
Well, I just like a side note on that.
Go ahead, give it to me.
I think with black men having such a big target on their back from society, especially like from the judicial system and our police force and stuff like that, I think sometimes black people in general can kind of overcompensate with that, and the thing of black men can never do anything wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh.
As a way to basically counteract the prosecution that you guys do go through.
I disagree. I'm gonna tell you why I disagree. And you sound like Miss Lovin when she said that.
Especially black men specifically.
So make it plain. So are you saying that you feel like black men are what? Make it plain so I know, so I won't talk, won't go out of pocket. So what?
Not saying that black men are never like
wronged.
Yeah, are never wrong. They are constantly.
Okay.
All the time. That's why I say you guys have a target on your back.
Okay.
But I think some black men will take cases even if they feel like the black person actually did what was said that they did.
We always want to support.
We want to support them anyways. And,
well,
and what do I say? Want to support and stand behind them, I guess.
I get what you're saying. All right.
As a way to kind of counteract.
I get what you're saying. Basically, because, all right, so let me say something. I won't say that I disagree. I'll take that back. I'll say this. I'll agree, but with nuance. And what I mean is I agree. I don't do this. I try my best to, if someone black did something, this is how I move. I'm just going to keep it honest. When a black person does something, and they are like anything that happens in the news, my first thought is that, okay, who's railroaded them? I'm not going to lie. That's my first thought. It is. But when you see the situation and the person did what they said they do, and you can tell it's happening a thing, then what I generally do is I just don't say nothing about my culture.
Yeah.
See, but because I know the reason why I don't say anything, you want to know why I don't say nothing? I don't say anything because I know if that person did anything wrong, the system's going to make sure he pays for it. So I can't say nothing. See, a lot of times the reason why we say so much, like say a white guy when he does something is because we know that the system is here to uphold him and to make sure he never has to be held accountable for the shit that he did. And so I've seen many of situations like this happening, but I would ask you, can you give me a situation in your mind, just one if you could think of one, to where you think someone is guilty other than the DDG? I don't think we have enough information with that one yet. But other than that one, to where you think, say, a black guy is obviously wrong, but we supported him.
Well, and by the way, before I say anything, I want to preface and say I know you specifically aren't doing that. I'm just talking about.
I get that.
I'm just talking about, let's say, social media for now. Right. Black men, and I hate calling you guys out specifically because I feel like both sides, black men and women, have a way of doing things incorrectly. So
yes,
I dislike calling you guys out specifically.
Let me pause for you say this. Let me say this to you. So over here, this is the home of the intelligent person. Mm-hmm. So over here, we understand nuances and everything else. We also understand that nothing's on here is a monolith. Mm-hmm. So even for myself, when I'm speaking, when I say something about women, I'm not talking about all women in general. I'm not talking about all men if I say men do such and such. It is a select group of people that I'm talking about. Yeah. So just know you don't have to preface it over here. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to make it seem like my black men or everything's wrong with you guys. And no, I don't want to make it seem like that.
I got you.
But I do notice that black men have a tendency to lean towards, like, let's use Diddy for example. Okay. Right?
Okay.
Diddy, you may not agree with like the charges that he are getting against specifically, the big charges that he has against him right now. Mm-hmm. But I do think he clocks women, and he specifically was clocking Cassie.
Yes.
We know that for a fact because we saw it with our own eyes.
I agree.
I will see support for him regardless. And I can say, like, if someone were like, I don't think that the charges he has against him right now are the correct charges.
Right.
But I do believe he should be charged for the abuse that he put certain people through. Okay. I can agree with that. However, I'll see people be like, "Oh man, just take him off. They didn't do anything wrong," and stuff like that, right? And I think that goes back to what I said of I think that we have a tendency to overcompensate a little.
Okay. I have no look. This is what I always say, people, because I had this argument with your mother all the time. Because she likes this.
R. Kelly too.
Yeah, I was ready to say.
R. Kelly is a beautiful example.
I was going to say this story comes up a lot with your mother if I have a conversation because we will be discussing R. Kelly. So this is what I say about the whole case, and this is why I take the stance that I do. And but if you give me a moment, let me cook. I'm gonna back it up just a second. Then we're gonna go to the break after. So my cooking to this is that first of all, let me back it up. I am a hip hop head from the '90s, and I'm a product of Tupac's music. So I was a Tupac fan. So I was caught up as a teenager with the East Coast, West Coast beef very heavily. So I was not a Bad Boy fan at all. F Bad Boy as a staff record label and as a crew. You've heard the song. That's what I was. I was that dude. So I never was a fan of Diddy at all. I knew even at that time he was doing bad business deal with people. I never liked him for that. When he did Making the Band, I thought it was very egregious to have people walk to get you a slice of cheesecake. That is an ego trip. Saw that as well. Did that. All that stuff. Remember it all. My issue though is this. We have lived in America, and America has made up so many laws just to criminalize black people. I'll go back a little further. Coming out of slavery, 1865, they had a thing called vagrancy law. Vagrancy laws meaning if you had nowhere to be, they could lock you up and put you basically back into slavery. That was because a lot of black people didn't have anywhere to go and to be at that time. They criminalized their behavior. So what I'm saying is that when it comes to black men, they have always criminalized our behavior and then made up stuff. Fast forward to what I mean with Diddy. This is my issue why I don't come after Diddy in this situation, even though I am not a fan of the man himself. Diddy's not on trial for kicking Cassie in the head. He kicked Cassie in the head and had to spend $30 to $40 million to take care of that. That was his punishment.
I don't think he should have.
Well,
her taking the payout, I don't think she should have taken the payout. I don't think the payout should have been made. I think he should face legal repercussions.
I understand.
For that.
But when she had a choice, she chose the money. She went with the money. That is his punishment. It just doesn't fit what you want it to. I can no longer judge him based upon that because that's not what he's on trial for. I have to look at the case for what he's on trial for. And I'll give you an example why I won't do outside of that. If I go to trial for murder, I don't want to hear about the times that I robbed somebody with my fist back in the day. Why are we talking about that? We talking about this man murdered somebody. You're not going to want to talk about me beating up somebody, robbing somebody. You're only going to want to discuss that murder. Why? Because that's what you're on trial for, and that's what we want to get you for. Why would they bring up the Mann Act or RICO charges on Diddy and literally bring up the entire time we've seen up until this point? It is the who saw him beat Cassie today. That's what we see. Every person comes on. He beat Cassie. Cassie said I got beat. The whole nine. If that's the case, bring him up on criminal charges. If you don't do it, you got to move on. And I'm just saying that's the problem. I cannot pile on to him. And I'll even say this about R. Kelly. I always say this about this man. Is he the king of R&B? Yes. Has music changed since he has been gone? Yes. But also at the same time, if somebody touched that man in the streets and street business happened, hey, it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. Just somebody did what he did.
I don't even think R. Kelly should be given a chance to be walking the street.
But even that, because the only reason why I say that about him is because I was around as an adult when it all came out in the early 2000s. They had an opportunity to get him. They chose not to. He is now retroactively cannot go to prison for that if that's not what you're hitting him for. That's all I'm saying. And let me say this: the reason why.
I don't think that it in Black society specifically. I don't think we were outraged enough about what happened.
I agree, but before you go there, let me say this. But this is the problem with the case, though, because I am a black male. I know that if they get the entertainer, the one who has wealth, status, and a name for himself, I stand no chance in a courtroom if I go up against a white man or some shit like that. I stand no chance. And so what I'm saying to everyone is we can't champion that, because if we champion this, they're going to just put stuff on black people and then we're going to get railroaded. Because like I know that anytime the court system is going to railroad somebody, it's going to be a black person. They're going to go by the book when it's a white person, and even try their best to not go by it in a positive manner for that person. But like I know, if I go to jail, if I go to court, they're trying to railroad me. And so I can't co-sign it. I look at it like I'm the lawyer. Let me ask you this. If you were a defense attorney, right? Your job is to defend people. You do know there's going to be people that you're defending that are guilty.
Which is why I don't know.
Got it. See, I can do my job. I can void my feelings out and do my job. I don't think a lot of people can, but go ahead.
I think it's kind of human nature when you see someone who's guilty, especially for a really heinous crime, which is why I say I'll never be a defense attorney. I think it's natural to be like, man, and this is hard to. It's a hard job to do.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Especially if, like, let's say someone murders somebody and it's like an innocent child or something like that.
I mean,
That's hard.
But see, in those types of situations, when someone does something egregious like that, and if I was a defense attorney, you know what's going to happen, right? You come to me, I'm just say I can't take your case. I'm sorry, I'm morally conflicted, and I won't take your case. R. Kelly, I would have told him, I'm morally conflicted, I can't take your case. Diddy, I would say, on the other hand, I'll take your case because you had to just drop $30 million. I know that stung, right? That's for Cassie. He did kick the girl in the head. Mine is, and then I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just gonna go a step further. I've watched black women get abused in so many different ways. I'm talking about physically abused, mentally abused, abused on their jobs. I see it all the time. And I don't see other people jump out their window in support of y'all. That's one. But two, this girl thing gotta end because that woman ain't nobody y'all should be standing for. You asked me earlier in this episode, what does class look like? Well, getting piss in your mouth doesn't make you classy. I don't care how cute you are. And that's what I feel was bad with Cassie is because y'all got women standing on business because they saw that woman get kicked in the head. I saw it too. I thought it was egregious. Put them up in jail if you want to. They chose not to. And see, that's my issue. And I think most of us are feeling that way. There's no one supporting Diddy. We're supporting I'm supporting myself.
Well, I've seen people.
That's what I'm
I've
doing.
seen people supporting Diddy. I'll just say you personally may not be supporting Diddy, but anyways, at least we can somewhat agree on R. Kelly.
Yes.
At least somewhat.
Well, but
a little bit.
But like I said, even with R. Kelly, and I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna go to break. We're gonna come back. Even with R. Kelly took a child and did all kinds of things to her that is egregious. I have daughters, so I understand the pain. Everyone's I feel the same thing. The reason why I can say I can still listen to his music is just because, and the reason I'll be honest why I say I can still listen to music is because it's the same reason why I can watch all Harvey Weinstein movies that nobody has a problem with. This is same. I'm just being honest with you.
No, I get your point. It's just I will never be able to. I can't.
Because I'm being honest, so many people have done so many different things that we would frown upon, but we're very selective about who we counsel. And see, for me, when I'm listening to the song, I'm not thinking about the composer, right or wrong or indifferent. But what I can tell you is that, and the reason why I feel this about street business is because when street business touch you, most of the time it's somebody involved with the family who touched you. But when you're talking about this system railroading people, I cannot support that because we have been at the end of that shit too many times. But I digress. We're going to go into a song. We'll be right back. I'm going to play something I want to hear. What do I want to hear? Oh, I know. I think this is Anthony Q. Let's go into this song. Be right back.
Let's go.
Old school.
We're going to play
Got
that.
new score.
No.
Always praising.
There we go.
school.
And we've got new school.
Always plays the new music first right here.
It's 300 Radio.
We are back. We are back. We are back. Okay, let me get some of this down. I think I got the music kind of loud. We still, me and Mid-Death still having a discussion about the whole R. Kelly thing and the Diddy thing. And I'll just say this to end it out, because I'm going to tell you what I honestly feel. It's only one reason why I feel so strongly about it is because when black people go, I saw this one time in New York City. Guys running from a police officer, right? Don't know if he committed a crime or not. I don't know. But he's running from the guy. And the cop decides to pull out his gun, and it's an open crowd, and he starts shooting at the dude. He killed some woman trying to shoot the guy. They charged that guy that was running with murder. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, it didn't stick because you can't judge another man for your actions. You didn't have to shoot those people. But my whole thing is that if they had locked him up, guess what would have happened? They would have been literally shooting people and been like, he caused me to do it. So what I'm saying is I can't jump on that. If and I always say this too. A truth doesn't need a lie to support it. A lie needs another lie to support it. So if this man has honestly done all this stuff that they said that Diddy's done, if he's the most egregious person in the world and he's been doing all this, it shouldn't have to be, let's run the Cassie sob story. It would be, this is what he did. This is the reason why we brought up charges. This is why we won't even let him out of jail. None of this is happening. This is let's bring up another person that says he punched Cassie in the face. And I'm saying he paid $30 million for it. So I can't get so mad at it at this point. They need to let that man out of prison. That's just all I'm saying. But I
don't agree with that. But
whatever, man.
I don't. Let him out of prison is crazy.
Diddy should be out.
No.
Definitely Diddy should be out.
No,
Kel should be out on this. But again, if you want to catch him in the street and do street business, that's different. Because I think the people should be able to do that. But I'm not going to let this system that is already biased against us run it. No, we're not doing that.
Like I said during commercial break, I can understand your viewpoint of you don't want to give white people an inch because they will take a mile. I get that. No, I do not think Diddy should be out of jail. No, I do not think Kel should be out of jail.
Yes, he should. Diddy ain't did nothing to be in jail. What did Diddy do to be in jail?
Be abusive.
Okay, he paid for it.
I don't care. I didn't get the money.
Anyways, give me the next story. This is just girl talk. This is girl babble. Give me what's
next.
next?
Girl babble.
What's
this
next?
one I feel kind of stronger about than the other ones.
Give me
Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lane.
Okay. Oh God.
This one I feel very strongly about.
Okay, give me your strong points.
Well, one, I will say this. Megan's story is the only story that's been consistent throughout everything else. Everyone else's story has changed. And I will say this as well.
Okay.
If Tory is innocent and Kelsey shot her instead, right? Mm-hmm. Kelsey didn't say that on the stands. Mm-hmm. Tory didn't say that on the stands. And I don't care about this bodyguard because, oh, well, my moral compass doesn't allow a man to get stabbed 14 times, but your moral compass will allow him to go to jail if he's innocent?
You know what?
No.
All right, so let me say something to this case. And this is, I'm going to just give you my piece and I'm going to let you ramble if you want to ramble on about it.
All right.
That's the only thing I want to say about that. When this case first hit the scene, it made no sense to me. I loosely paid attention to the trial. Still made no sense to me. What's happening right now with the bodyguard speaking up and the lawyers coming back out still makes no sense to me. I actually saw the footage of Meg getting told the verdict that Tory Lanez got. And I'm not going to lie, it looked like she was super shocked, but almost like, I cannot believe he got that much time shocked. And so what I'm honestly, this is just my own personal opinion. I have no reason to feel this way other than what I feel in my insides. This is my instincts tell me this. I believe, because I heard the story that the Kelsey girl shot the gun like 2 or 3 times. Tory slapped her arm. The gun hit the ground, shot 2 more times. I think they said that's how it shot. That's the new story that's been out. The new story. I got you. This one. But this is what I honestly think. I honestly think this is all that happened. I think that multiple things happen. I think that the first and foremost, I think that Kelsey is her friend. And I think, when you have a bestie, you don't want your bestie to go down. That's one. Two, I think that Tory Lanez got bad lawyer advice because he didn't say certain things he should have said in that court case. Now, why did he get bad lawyer advice? I am under the impression that when someone works for the machine, like Meg Thee Stallion, that everybody colludes with you. What do I mean? When you have a lawyer, I said this the other day about an entertainer. You don't know entertainers, your agent, your publicist, your lawyer. None of them work for you, the talent. It works for Paramount. It works for Universal. You wanna know why it works for them? Because those entities say if you don't do what we want you to do, you can't get another client or work with us. So you can have all the clients in the world you want, but if you ain't got nowhere to get them booked at, they don't need to hire you. So they're gonna do the bidding for those what they call it, those shooting houses, whatever's the name of the place. So I look at the same thing with these types of situations. Meg Thee Stallion was the first entertainer that they pulled out for Kamala Harris to promote her to black people. Lets me know that they're right now, she is a part of the machine. I won't say bought and paid for because I don't know that woman, but she is a part of that machine. And I know right now we're not wanting that woman to go down. Another thing I'll say. So, well, let me finish it up. So what I mean when I say this is that means that to me, Tory Lanez, his lawyer could have given bad advice. Don't say certain things. And this is just personal conjecture. Could it be true that he shot it? Could be true. I don't understand what's going on because none of it just makes sense. I just believe that no one believed that he was going to get that much time because 10 years is a lot of time. It is a lot of time. And to get stabbed the whole night, I can get why the bodyguard said what he said the whole night. I just don't know any of it's true. That's all that I can say.
I will just say, Tory being on call and apologizing for shooting Meg.
I didn't hear that one. So what did you say with that one?
There's a phone call, a prison phone call of him apologizing for shooting Meg, right?
Okay.
And then I go back to this bodyguard because he pissed me off. Because it's a thing of, well, I saw this, and I'm just like, if you saw this, which I don't believe he did, okay. But if you saw this, why didn't you say it before? And you cannot tell me, well, the man got stabbed 14 times, so I felt compelled. No, you can't tell me that, because in my opinion, he wouldn't have gotten stabbed if he wasn't in prison in the first place.
True.
And I don't think there's amount of money that should compromise your moral compass. If you are working for someone else and you're being paid a good amount of money by Meg or Kelsey or whoever because you're their bodyguard.
Great.
I do not believe that should compromise your moral compass.
I agree.
And I do not want you to lean on that moral compass that obviously is very easily compromisable for whatever reason, just because of something that happened to him in jail. And on top of that, like I said, I believe that Megan's story is the most consistent out of everybody's because everybody's pointing fingers at each other, but she has kept the same story the entire time. So that is why I believe Megan. Hey. And I think that the bodyguard is a liar.
Okay.
And that's that.
Well, there you have it. I think it's the weirdest story ever. I just hope whatever truthfully is happening that it plays out that way for everybody's benefit, to be honest with you. But one thing I will say to you that you said that I want you as my baby girl, that I want you to understand. And I truly do mean that. Mm-hmm. Don't ever look at the world through your own eyes when other people are moving. What do I mean when I say that? You're looking at the world as, I wouldn't do that. You are a very nice person. Most people are not nice. I'm going to go ahead and go a little deeper and talk about one culture especially is very not nice. I'm not going to name the culture by name, but we know which culture I'm talking about. By nature, they're not nice. Now, do they have nice individuals in them? Yes, I've met plenty of those white people that are very nice, but not all of them are. Their culture isn't nice. Their culture is to dominate and to control and to beat on at all times. Now, will every person in the culture act that way? No, but you know their culture is that way. We know this. But I digress. What's next? What you got?
I don't know. I just think it's convenient.
I do.
I do. I think a lot of it's convenient, and I'm not moving. I'm sorry. I'm not budging. Well, I'm not budging.
Do you got anything? Because if you got something, I got something I will show you.
Well, what do you want?
You got something?
I have plenty, but
what you got? Give me something. I'll tell you if I want to talk about it. Give me something.
Okay.
What you got?
So there's this discussion going around lately of Black people complaining that white people are allowed to be mediocre on their big platforms.
Okay.
And the white society will continue to champion them anyways, right?
Okay.
And we complain that Black people have to be exceptional. We have to go above and beyond even to get into those same places, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's hypocrisy there. And the reason I agree with the statement in itself, but the reason I think there is hypocrisy is because we do not allow our stars to be mediocre.
No.
95% of the time, Black people are going to be exceptional at everything that they do. But there is going to be that occasional and mediocre Black person.
Mm-hmm. We see them all the time.
And we are going to be their biggest downfall. Each and every time.
Can I say something? And it's kind of to what you're saying, but I'll say it around you too. They are trying their best to kill. I don't want to use that word Black excellence because I hate the word. It's so cliche. But they're trying to kill the specialness in Black people. I'll tell you what I mean. It's nothing in the 80s and the 90s, in the early 2000s to get really entertaining movies, correct? You would get, like I said, early 90s, you got Boys in the Hood. You got the end of the 90s, you get The Best Man. You know, you go into the mid-90s, 2000s, you got Brown Sugar. I mean, to 2000 to 2010s. You got all of this stuff. And today, we don't have one iconic film anymore that comes out anymore. Every blue moon, you'll get a movie that was pretty good, Beyond the Lights. You say what?
Sinners?
I haven't seen Sinners yet.
According to the masses.
Now, and if it's great, it's great. But what my point is this. I think the reason why we're not getting great films is for a reason. Hollywood is trying its, and I kid you not, and it's not just Hollywood, but Hollywood right now is trying to kill the excellence in Black American society. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I'm going to tell you how I know it to be true. Give me the top people in the movie industry. Give me an important Black male actor. Important Black female actress. Who?
Currently?
Currently. I ain't talking about back in the day. Currently. Give me current.
I was about to say Denzel.
Give me current. Give me a current actor that gets love. Actress.
When I think of important, I think of...
Well, don't say important. I'm talking about pop. They get into movies. They're on the red carpets. They get covered by all of the blogs. Who are these people? Who I see? I see certain people.
Black American?
I know. They're talking about Black people. Did you see
Black people?
in Hollywood? Who do you see?
Well, it seems like every time I turn on a TV show, what's his name? Daniel
Kaluuya?
Yeah, I feel like he's always there.
He ain't Black American. Then you got Damson Idris. He ain't Black American. And I'm not trying.
Has Damson been in anything other than Snowfall?
He has a couple of movies, but he's ready, and I could tell he's ready to play. Is it Miles Davis in the movie coming up? He's ready to play Miles Davis, and they're doing it on purpose. Can I tell you something before we get into your subject that I know is happening, and I think it's something we should address? And I hate doing this because I get called xenophobic and everything else when I do this, but what else am I supposed to do if I see it? If I do this for a living, and then I see this, so I have to address it. They're taking all of our film and our movies, especially the ones about our icons, and they're giving them to people not of our lineage. Have you noticed that?
I mean, me personally, I don't think I feel as strongly about Africans being in films as you do, but I do have a problem with our Black American icons not being played.
Okay, so the reason,
just like how I believe if we went over to Africa and started playing some African icons, it would be a
problem. It wouldn't fly right. So, and the reason why, but it goes deeper than that. Forget even the fact of it's disrespectful to always want to play other people's icons. There's an energy that hits the scene when it's a part of your culture. I'll give you a classic example. If I ever got to play, say, I'm a Martin Lawrence fan, right? Say if I ever got to play Martin in a movie about him, and they say, I'm picking you to play me, right? What up? I'm playing
Which
Martin.
would be such odd casting, might I add.
But we both got the ears. We both had big ears growing up.
Y'all are two different tones.
Anyway,
so.
Whatever. They don't pick him anyway. But I have an affection for him. I grew up on him. I know his mannerisms. And then, too, he's a part of my culture. I understand him when he tells jokes. Now, if I go to Africa and I have to play young Desmond Tutu, I don't know nothing about whatever tribe he's from. I don't know their customs. I don't know how to move the way that they move. There's a reason why when you do a movie, There's a reason why when you do a movie and you say it's about a lawyer, well, you have to go send the actor to go sit with that lawyer. Why? He needs to understand what that lawyer's job is about. And it's even better if you get a person who's already a lawyer that's an actor to play it because he already knows what he's doing. Would you agree? So what I'm saying is the reason why it's a problem, it is because of multiple reasons. One, the product is not as good as it used to be. Would you agree or disagree? The movies are not as good as they used to be.
In general,
No.
they're
So-
not as good as they used to be.
And I'm going to tell you the large portion has to be because there's no energy in it. It's like basically having, if you have a dog that you love, but they gut your dog out and put mechanical parts in him, and he still barks it the same way, he still moves the same way, but he ain't got the essence of your dog no more. Is it your dog? That's what they do to Black America. See, they wanted to put dark-skinned, melanated people on the screen and say, hey, everybody just one big Negro, and then put them on the screen, and then the energy's off because they don't know nothing about it. I'll give you an example. Cynthia Erivo one time made that statement that she ain't know nothing about no Harriet Tubman before she played him. Then why you playing it? That woman's an icon in our culture, and you don't play that if you don't understand what that embodies. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why I think it's important at the core. That's why it's important to pick people in your own culture. And another reason why I think it's not good to have Africans play it, and this is really gonna get me called xenophobic for saying this. Black Americans, whether we like it or not at this point, have been lied to, and we're not all off of slave ships between 1619 and 1804. Black Americans are from this soil, which means that there's a slight difference in you than it would be from a person from West Coast of Africa. That is not to say we're better than, we're just different. And being that we're different, that means that we have a culture here. I wouldn't want all Black Americans to move to Nigeria, play all of their roles, and then in 100 years, we say we are the real Nigerians. Because that's what's going to happen. They're going to take Africans, they're going to put them in all of our roles, and they're going to become the Black Americans, and then they're going to sell us the slavery story forever. Does that make sense? It don't make sense to you. Anyways, give me your other point. Give me your points.
Well, yeah,
That's
you didn't talk about what I brought up in the
I know.
first place.
I just want to go there. So you brought up basically in there. What do you want to say? Give me back.
Well, I think about Jennifer Hudson specifically and her little show with her little tunnels, the spirit tunnels, and all
yeah,
stuff like
I
that.
like the tongue. I want to go in there. Jennifer, send me through the tunnel.
Oh, have you ever seen her actually
It's
interview
popping.
someone?
Huh?
Have you ever actually seen her interview someone?
Yeah, I've seen a couple people on the show.
A lot of people were dunking on her because she's not a good interviewer, specifically Black people. She's just not a good.
I ain't watched enough to give
She's
her my
just not a good interviewer. She's fine.
Okay.
She does okay.
Okay.
But I think of white men that are on their big late night talk shows being just as, if not worse.
Mediocre is the shit, right. Okay.
We cannot complain that is happening and then not allow grace to our own people. Well, what Black people want is they want white people to allow grace to our people and for us to sit in the background. But no, when it comes to Black society, we have to take control. We have to take the reins.
True.
And if we allow grace, then they're going to force to have grace, to also give grace as well.
Okay.
Because when we sell out their stadiums,
right,
and we do this and that,
mm-hmm.
you become undeniable.
Okay.
You know.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree, but somewhat disagree. I'm gonna tell you why I say it. I do agree that we are harder on each other than we are on white people.
Way harder.
I give you an example. When I used to say this back in the day. So when I was younger, Apollo, you remember the TV show Apollo from Apollo Theater would come on, and I used to always say when Amateur Night came on, if a white person could just hum a beat, you know what I'm saying? He would get up there and we was like, oh, but the Black person had to be exceptional. You miss a note, you're getting booed off the stage. Mm-hmm. So we put ourselves to a higher standard. I don't like that. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, that's my whole point.
But I disagree. Well, I won't say I disagree, but I'll go deeper and I'll say this though. I don't like the I won't say glorification. I don't like the give but so much grace when it comes to mediocrity. This is what I mean. Tyler Perry, when he first started doing films, I'm ready to be on this Negro neck again today. I don't like that, man. But anyways, Tyler Perry put out Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Saw a couple of holes, but it wasn't nothing egregious. Did a good job. But I could see where he could have did better. Family Reunion came out.
His best movie.
Best movie. Did better than the first one. You can see the growth. Still had a few holes. We can do a little bit better. We see the growth. Don't expect it. I expect it to be that way. Fast forward 20 some odd years later, this man puts trash on the screen. He doesn't even do what he did in his first 2 films anymore. Why? Because he don't feel like he has to. That's disrespectful to the culture. See, for me, I give Ryan Coogler respect because every movie I've ever seen his, whether I liked it or not, you can see the quality in it. John Singleton is my favorite director of all time. Rest in peace. That man always made sure things were done properly. He gets the respect, but for some reason we love on Tyler Perry. I'm not giving that mediocrity shit any respect.
Well, I when I say
That's
being
it.
behind Black mediocrity, I don't mean making it our entire thing or making it in our the best that we can get. That's not what I mean.
Okay.
I mean not tearing it down and then complaining that they're being torn down. You know?
Good point. I mean, I agree with you.
Like,
That's
I don't
agree.
think Tyler Perry should be the best black
No.
director of all time.
No, he shouldn't be. But you saying
There are better directors.
right.
However, I don't. Well, actually, I'm not even gonna use Tyler Perry because I don't even think we should be behind him like that.
So you agree with me when it comes down.
Who's a better person? You know, a singer, black singer that could be that's kind of mediocre.
Well, I know a bunch of mediocre singers. I give you one that I talk about from time to time that I'm not a huge fan of.
That I can actually get behind. Don't
You probably like Tyler.
Tyler? No, I'm talking about Black American.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I don't like her. Because why we bypass 50 states where we could got an average singing light skin? Because we got 1 million of them here. Why do we got to go all the way to South Africa together? That's just my personal opinion. But anyways. go ahead.
Oh, Sierra's a great example. Let me talk about Sierra.
Oh, you mean lukewarm? Miss Lukewarm.
Anyways, Sierra ain't done nothing for me to dislike her.
No,
So-
she ain't. She just can't sing.
So, but that's the thing. She has the moniker of can't sing, can't
Right.
sing,
It
can't
ain't a
sing.
moniker.
We gonna throw that in her face every single
She has
time.
the truth.
We gonna throw that in her face every time.
She has the truth of can't being able to sing. That's
Now,
what-
do I think that we should put Sierra over, say, our greatest?
No.
Do I think we should put her in the same category as a Whitney Houston or anything like that? No.
She, baby girl, she can't be.
But-
she ain't in the Ashanti's category,
But-
let alone.
I think she's about on the same level.
Whatever. Ashanti may not be a powerhouse, but Ashanti can definitely sing. Ashanti, I love you, baby. Go
All
ahead.
right, now. But
Sorry, Nelly. No disrespect.
I think we don't have to throw it in her face 24/7 and then complain that Taylor Swift is big in the white community. No, we can't do that, can we?
No, but I will say this. You're correct. We are hard on our own culture, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's why the delineation needs to happen. You want to know why? Because, and when I say delineation, I'm just saying I think that we should see. I don't mind being part of a big collective of black people. We are one big. Okay, great. Especially if we are on one accord. But just like everyone else, I have a family, so I'm gonna. Even though I may love my neighbor, I don't love my neighbor as much as I love my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So what I think what black people need to do, and I see this happening to us. I'm so excited right now. I'm watching Black Americans stop. It used to be like a scab. Being Black American, if you said it, you remember if you were attractive, you had to be from somewhere else. Man, where you from? You couldn't just be black. And see, right now, I'm watching black people from here love on each other. Because I think we're starting to realize as a collective, man, every culture in the world wants to be like us. Why wouldn't we want to celebrate our greatness? Now, do we have some ratchets in our culture? Yes. But don't white people have trailer trash? Yes. I was on the south side of Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. I was on the south side. I remember a couple of years ago, there's a little Asian community just as trashy as it wanted to be. They have the women who like to give happy endings. That's their trashy people. But they don't get judged by theirs. Only Black Americans gets judged by the hood people. We ain't all in the hood. So what we're starting to do is love on our culture again, and I'm loving it right now. Country and all. Take that music back. Did you know we started country music?
Yes, I was telling you this the other day.
Did you know we started punk rock music?
Yeah, I was okay.
Oh, sorry.
Not to cross over topics or anything like that, but I was talking about this the other day of how in wrestling specifically, I believe that when black people get into other genres and we kind of mix genres together, we make the genre better. We
Yeah.
make it sound good.
And you probably make something brand new completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I believe with black wrestlers, we are allowed to have theme music that isn't just R&B and hip hop. You know what I mean?
Let me. She said, but context. Now, what she's saying is right now.
I'm
is
saying
that,
this the other
all
day,
right,
literally.
So this
saying-
girl here, this Destiny, the voice in the sky that y'all can't see. The voice in the sky right now. We're gonna call you the voice in the sky.
I don't like
That's your
that.
name. The voice in the sky is a big wrestling fan, so we talk about it all the time. We watch it all the time, and I totally agree with what you're saying. What's your point again? Just okay.
My point about black wrestlers.
No, something you just said I was gonna make a point to. Something you just said it was something I wanted to make a point to. I can't remember what it was, but it was something about. Oh, I know what it is. Music. When it comes to the music, all right, we had a debate the other day on whether or not I don't like that some of the wrestlers that are really, really good music is not memorable. And let's just be honest, hip hop, R&B, or something similar to that sound right now is the go-to sound. And I get it, you can mash that with some rock and some country and make a hit. You probably can. Well, everybody's failing at it. So I'm not arguing on that you like.
No, we're just not trying.
Well,
Black people aren't trying. Black people tried with country music. That's why it's making a resurgence in our community.
True.
But are you seeing us picking up a guitar and playing rock music? No.
That's because we would have to take the genre and change it again. Because see, what you're hearing now, you know what you hear when you hear rock music? And white people, you're going to be so mad when I say this. You just listening to the Down syndrome version that white people think that they hear when they think they're playing black music when they're playing
I don't
it.
agree with the way you put that. But
No,
anyways.
I'm just saying, when a white person gets a guitar, that rock, that screaming, that what he thinks he sounds like is he sounds like who somebody was popular and Little Richard, but he sounded retarded when he did it. He sounded like he had Down syndrome. And then Down syndrome turned into just everybody's tried to sound like they had Down syndrome. And I'm saying Down syndrome, but I'm talking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers and you know these types of cats. These cats in the world, they be screaming in the microphone. They're not singers. They're not music. Black folks didn't do music like that.
To put it more tastefully, what he did.
I don't need you to correct my words.
To put it more tastefully in my own words, because I am also in this show as well, so I will put it in my own words.
Sky Mama.
Of the gentrification
Yes.
of rock music.
Well, you want to gentrify it back, is what
Yes.
you're saying. Okay.
And
Yeah.
we haven't tried.
Well, for one, don't nobody listen to that shit. Don't nobody want to listen to that shit.
Well, black people weren't listening to country, but now we're line dancing.
All right, but no. But see what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Country never went away from black people. We've always still had a feel towards it. Even some of the music that you had.
Our version of it.
Well, our version is the version of country. White folks just came up with their own. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
what I'm saying. There's the white version, there's the black version. Black people had a connection to the black version of it.
Well, what I'm saying.
And apparently the masses do too, because every single time a black country artist comes out, they chirp.
Well, what it is that you know why that is, right? Look, I said this the other day, and this is going to lead me down a different path of conversation, but it's the total God honest truth. There's something different about black Americans. We, under pressure, have built, keep spitting out diamonds. You think about it. Rock and roll is a diamond. We came up with it under pressure. Jazz music, under pressure. Blues music, under pressure. Blues comes out of the railroads. You know that, right? So the railroad, those chain gangs, a lot of that music comes from there, from those guys. That comes out of pain. Even to this day, R&B songs, soul songs comes out of pain. Some of the best hip-hop songs come from pain. We create diamonds out of the pressure that we are put under as black Americans. And I'm just sorry, I have not seen the equivalent in the world. Now, that's not to say that we're the only great culture in the world, but I'm not going to diminish our greatness just to make other people feel better. Y'all have tried to diminish us for far too long. We're not doing that no more. That's great. Matter of fact, let's get some claps of the hands. You like that, right? Don't you agree you like that?
Yes, I agree with you totally, and I don't think that we disagree on this specifically. Now we obviously disagree on what music should be in wrestling, but that's a whole nother topic.
But I'm just saying, the music in wrestling, it's and to be honest with you, it ain't even really the genre of music. It just has to have a meaning, a point. And like we always talk about Stone Cold with his glass, The Rock with his voice, even Punk. You heard the crowd last night. cheering this man's voice. They singing his song while 5 minutes out he in the ring damn near. So I get it, but you got to have something. And a generic rock song, which is a guitar that nobody listens to today. I put it like this: when Jacob Fatu, and I'll say this, I'm not gonna, because we're gonna go to commercial break. Stop it! Trying to turn it into a wrestling show.
I just
When
brought it up
Jacob's music, when
briefly.
Jacob Fatu, the wrestler's music hit, and that rock music that's generic as hell comes on, it don't speak nothing to all gas, no brakes. You know what I'm saying? I want something like that. All gas, no brakes, and then let a beat drop. Woo! Fire. We're gonna go to commercial break. All right. We'll be back in a second, guys. See you in a moment.
Old school.
Old school.
And we've got new school.
Always plays the new music first right here.
It's 300 Radio.
And you know this, man. All right, let me cut your microphone back on. Hello, guys. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. I'm gonna get some more hip hop going in here because you in here making the room sad. Anyways, guys. So what?
That's all the music you picked.
First of all, that is true. I picked all those songs. I did pick those songs today. That it was a little. You're right. You're right. We're gonna pick it up tomorrow. We're gonna go hip hop. No.
I got plenty of songs to play.
I'm a Buckle Bunny. I'm gonna play that tomorrow. Yes, I love that song.
Shout out to Tanner.
We don't know that one by name.
I do. Shout out to Tanner.
So give it to me. What you got? You got anything?
You said you wanted to show me.
I can't remember. I got a bunch of stuff, but I'm gonna wait and hold it. What you got? Mine are not time. Mine are not time.
I don't really like this topic, but I'll say it anyways.
But if I don't like it, I'll tell you I don't like it. Go ahead.
The conservatism one that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, move on. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, because we get into political talk, we're gonna go for another 2 hours. And
So you want it for time's sake.
I'll hold it for time, and then 2, because you tell the audience what we got. 2,300 people. What? Tell the people out there what the topic was, and then I'm gonna see if people give me thumbs up or thumb down.
Well, my third topic was essentially comparing white conservatism to black conservatism, but I think there's a difference between the two, and whether or not America's heading conservative, and if that's detrimental because it's very much so white conservative.
What,
So-
black conservatism is white conservatism?
No, I think they're different from each other. And I
What's the
think when I say America's leaning conservative, I'm thinking of like white conservative.
Okay. Yes, I agree with it, but majority, I think people are conservative in this country. I do. I think majority of people are conservative, even black people.
But I think it looks different in black society.
It does. You want to know what the difference is? Black people actually are trying to live the lifestyle they say they're
I
trying to
think
live.
black people have souls.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well,
That's
good
why-
point. Good point. That's exactly what I mean. I was gonna say black people are actually trying to do the things they say they're trying to do.
Like I'm if you can't already tell, I'm pretty left leaning.
I'm,
So I don't agree with conservatism at all.
I don't lean
but-
either way because I think both of them are just as detrimental.
But I think when black people lean more conservative, there's a purpose to it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's heart to it.
You know what I think the difference between left leaning and right leaning? Right leaning is overt. I don't like you Negroes. Left leaning is covert. Come on, black people, you know I love you, but I ain't gonna do nothing for you. That's what I think the difference is. There's no difference between the two. They're both the same thing. They're just playing both sides. What it is, it's like when you go in to see a police officer. I know you never watched the show First 48, but on the show called First 48, you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
First 48 is a show basically about cops. They'll arrest people and then you'll get to see the interrogation. I do too. But you get to see the interrogation and everything. It'll be a real story. What they like to do in cops, you've seen this in the movies a million times. The bad one comes in, we're going to lock you up forever for committing the crime. You know they do. And then the good cop comes in and says, take a break. Sorry, man. He's crazy. Take this cigarette. You want a cigarette, man? Let's talk about it. Come on, man. Just tell us what you did, man. Before he comes back and try to choke you out, just tell us what you did, and I'm gonna try my best to take care of you. That's the difference. That guy talking to you now, he's the liberal. But at the end, when they get in the back, he said, "Man, that shit worked, man." He said, "Thanks, man." That's the difference.
My left leaning.
What'd you do? Oh, go ahead. You fine.
When I say I'm left leaning, this is outside of political elections and stuff like that. This is just my base opinion of everyone should be able to live without constantly being attacked or suppressed or anything like that.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. I
And
say it all the time.
and it's also like anti-capitalist. But anyways, getting
You're
past that.
anti-system. Look who your father is. So
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because I think capitalism is the reason why people can't afford to live to survive.
Capitalism is
We're
part of it.
we're living to survive instead of living just leisure to live.
Yeah, you're right. Capitalism is the reason why that's happening. It is, and one of the biggest arm or the biggest tool that they use in capitalism is racism. It's one of the main ones. And you're right, dude. But they're killing us. But I don't. But see, this is the problem. I don't think this is where we disagree. The left does it just as much as the right does it. So both of them are literally doing the same thing. Classic example. Forget even all the money that Joe Biden, left leaning, spent in the Ukraine and in Israel and other places over the last 4 years. Let's take that off the table. I was just watching the job study came out. So one of the last job studies that came out, and they do this every couple of months, they'll tell you job creation, who created what. And they spoke and they said Joe Biden's last one, he was like, he created 400,000 new jobs heading out the door. And that was one of the talking points that they were using. But then it comes to find out through peer reviewed.
Peer reviewed.
Yes,
peer
they
research.
came out and they basically said, in actuality, he didn't create 400,000 jobs. He actually lost 1,000 jobs. So he actually, in turn, flipped it and go the opposite direction. So what that tells me is that he, just like I always say, all politicians are liars.
Yeah.
And they lie to keep themselves above you. So when you say left leaning, I would ask you, why do you lean that way when they're also been oppressing you for the last 50 or 60 years?
When I say left leaning, I don't mean liberal. I don't mean Democrat. Because there's this thing called blue MAGA, which is basically regular MAGA but on the Democratic side.
So, but give me your. Okay, what I mean is, are you a supporter of Barack Obama?
No.
What about Bill Clinton? Any president that you ever was fond of?
I don't love on or I'm fond of Politicians.
Politicians, okay.
Or
so you mean
presidents or anything like that.
I get it now. You're not saying that. What you're telling me is you're not talking about politics. You're talking about ideology.
Yeah, I'm talking about people. You know what I
that's
mean?
what I'm saying. Yes, I
the
get it.
everyday
I get it.
person.
See, this is what you mean. Conservatives are gun-toting, Second Amendment right white people who live in the suburbs who want to suppress everybody.
Yeah, I think that they're the conservatives are the type that, you remember how I was talking about Charlie Kirk, and he had this one white guy
Right.
who was basically saying the main identity in America is a European identity, and it should stay that way, and everyone should assimilate to that.
Right.
Essentially.
Right.
That man would not look at me and think of me worth anything. He would not think that I was a human being. He wouldn't think I would be worth anything.
Right.
That's how I feel most white conservatives are, if not all.
Right.
So
Okay.
with that being said, it's not a politics thing of me going
You
down
mean
to
it's
the
a
White
mindset.
House and one thing like that. It's
But see,
being
this is
for
what,
people.
So this is my thing. But this is where I think me and you divide on belief. I believe everything you just said. I totally agree with that. Charlie Kirk is gonna laugh at you if he watches you sitting there choking to death. That's the type of man that that's the type
He
of
wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire.
That's the type of mindset you see it every time you see him, right? But what I don't think you understand is that if no camera's watching, if there's no recorder on or no one witnessing, the most liberal white person will do the exact same thing to you.
I agree.
So what I'm saying,
I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you I disagree and my white allies. I don't care.
I guess what I'm saying is the reason why I don't lean anyway. This is why I don't go either one of those routes. Those are both given to me. One ideology, and both have been given to me as a thought process and an ideology, and both of them consistently has failed my community. So me voting Republican, leaning conservative, or voting Democrat or leaning liberal, I have always came up at the bottom. So what that tells me is that there is a system that is in place for people who look like me to bring up the rear, even when it looks like I got my man. Because that's the one thing that trips me out when it comes to people. Liberal, and I know what you mean liberal. Liberals are the ones who are pro-LGBT. Liberals are pro-life. These are liberal talking points. I get it. And my thing is like this. I'm neither, but I'm both. Because I have conservative thought processes and I have liberal thought processes. I'm very conservative with a lot of things because I'm getting older. But I'm very liberal in other ways because if you like it, I love it. That's how I am. But
I'm pro a lot of those things.
Yes, I know. You're young American.
I am.
But I am but see what I am more than anything else, and this is the way I stand, and I don't stand on neither one of those sides. I stand on this. I am part of Black American culture, and I am a defender and a warrior in that. I want to see us thrive and be healthy in whatever way that it seems fit. I am not the creator or the end all be all in it. But what I will tell you is, if healthy is happening in our culture, I want to be a part of that, and that's what I support. Whether that's a Republican, a Democrat, liberal, or conservative, whatever it's going to be, it just has to make us look good. I just don't think neither one of those ideologies help us. But that's just me. But that's boom. Anyway, that's boom. I thoroughly enjoyed you on this episode. It was very nice talking to you. Do you want to come back and do this again?
Your audience will have
Now, matter of fact, I'm asking people what they thought about you. What'd you think of her? Okay.
Don't tell me what you thought of me.
Well, maybe I'll get you on camera next time. That way you can show that beautiful face of yours. You know who face you got. You got mine, so you know she's gorgeous. That's not cocky. That's not cocky. I didn't mean that at all. You know I'm just a puppy dog. I don't mean none of this stuff. I'm just real. If you ever meet me in person, wouldn't you agree that I'm very meek and timid?
No,
yes,
not at all.
She does. She knows that's true.
I would describe you with a lot of words. Meek and timid would not be one.
I'm very mild mannered. Very aloof. I mean, not aloof. That's a negative. I'm a lot of things, but cocky isn't one of them. Gorgeous, maybe. But not, I'm just joking. Anyways, all right, so we're going to get out of here, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you guys again. I will be here this week, hopefully majority of days. I am just enjoy looking at myself right now. So I'm going to go look at myself some more off camera. Okay. Despo, you got anything to say before we head out? Make sure
Not really anything. I said everything I want to say. I feel like your audience knows who I am now.
Yes.
Knows what type of person I am.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what audience you have.
Yes.
So
It's old people. There's a lot of men too. So, but anyways. All right, we got it here. All right, guys.
I don't know if I'm a min.
You're gonna be okay. Trust me.
Like
You have
personality.
You have sensible thoughts, and that's not all men. I'm just joking because my Instagram is all women. So you're gonna find out that as long as you're sensible, this audience will love you because we are free thinking people over here. That's what we try to do. I know you think you're free thinking. You're kind of controlled, but it's okay.
Wow.
Spend the summer with me. You'll be able to be free
I've
thinking
spent
at the end.
multiple summers with you, and I still think the same way.
I know, but this year you're gonna have to sit with me every day, and now you're gonna have to get this game whether you like it or not. All right, guys. Till next time, I'll see you tomorrow. Be free. I'm out.
Whoa. Before you leave this podcast and go somewhere else, did you hit the notification bell? Because if you didn't, please do so now. And I'm talking to the people who've already subscribed. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that as well. Hit the like button, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.